right, my peoples, we are going to get into some editing today. I'm so excited. All right, so I have iMovie and I've worked on Movie Maker as well. So I'm going to start with iMovie just because it's here on my computer and I'm the most familiar with it as of late. So in the last episode, I talked about getting your files off of your cameras and onto your computer. So what that looks like from the computer's perspective is if I go to import media and, oh, well, if had I turned my camera on, it would have come up right here under cameras. And I could select, I'll click on my camera, which is Sony, blah, 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 blah. And then my video files would come up and I would just highlight them and click import all down here. And it's as simple as that. And then they get loaded into this screen. So I'm going to break these next editing videos up into a few separate ones. So in this first one, I'm going to be talking about editing for real-time footage versus doing things that are time lapse. We're going to do that one next. So the first thing that you'll notice is that when you import, well, first you're actually filming upside down. So this is like a batch. This was this project. And I need to actually come up with a project. Oh, wait. Go back. So, all right. Well, first, let me back up a second. So you have import your files, and over here on the left-hand side, you see where it says project media, and then you can create like a library of different projects. So you can see I have my my fairy tales course, things in here, fashion illustration. So my topics are related to my Fun Fab Fellas. That was right around the time where I switched from using Movie Maker to the iMac and iMovie. So here, all my mixed media magic files are in here. So you can categorize them. So when you import, it'll give you a choice whether you want to make a new file, and I have YouTube. Because my video files are just massive, I tend to blast them away once they're up and stored on YouTube. Then I just delete them because they're kind of safe and sound on YouTube anyways. But anyways, this is your kind of library of your saved imported videos. And yes, when you do film a camera, you are shooting upside down. So the first thing I'll show you is how to kind of right side that up, if you will. And what you want to do is the files I'm looking for. Okay. So first of all, what's awesome about iMovie is you can really quickly drag and drop. So I'm going to like say hi like this sucker, and I'm going to put it right here, and you drag it. This is, I don't know what this is called, your timeline bar, I think. All right, so you're all freaking out. This is upside down. And so the first thing we need to do is go up to these little icons at the top here, and this is your cropping tool, and you're gonna go hit crop, and then you're gonna go over here and you see these little friendly happy little icons, and just click in either direction, and that has turned it sideways. If you click it once, you can see it's sideways. Super awkward. And then if you hit it again, look, now she's right side up. So how easy is that? It's pretty easy, you got to admit. Okay, so let me just back it up for 1 second and talk about what this all is. So on the left, you have your folders, like I said, that you can create to store your footage in. At the top here, you have, so this is my media. So this is everything within this folder. This second button is audio. And these are, I love this. iMovie comes with like preset, some preloaded with some content. So you have access to iTunes, anything that you have stored on iTunes, which I don't use iTunes too much. I'm always in too much of a rush to actually store things in there. But these are some copyright-free music things that I've taken the time to put into iTunes. GarageBand is a game. Sound effects. This is like my favorite thing in the whole world. So it gives you these presets. These are like preloaded, copyright-free little sound bites. And some of them, this is the amount of time. So some of them are just like seconds long, which is so fun. And some of them are a minute, you know, or longer. Some of them are 2. So you can recognize this. This is the closing that I put at the end of all of these videos for the video series that I'm recording right now. So that plays when you've finished up like this video. You'll hear it at the very end. That's how I close it out. And at the beginning, you have this short version. Okay, so how fun is that? So you can go through here without having to jump on the internet and download different things. You can use some of these presets. It doesn't work all the time. I don't use this, say, for time lapse. They're too short. But that is an excellent, awesome, fun resource that you can use. And then, all right, on the next tab, you have titles. And this is where you're going to find your like captions. And they all kind of have fun animations associated with them. So if you drag your mouse across these, it'll give you a sneak peek into what that looks like. And again, I find editing really, really fun. And I don't find it intimidating once I just understand what each subcategory goes to. So I'll give you an example. Let's say we're going to add a new title. So, and all you do, again, this drag and drop technology makes things just stupid easy. So I drag that down and wham, there's my title. So I can, you know, title it. You just type it in, press enter, and there it is. I usually press play over here to get a sneak peek of what that looks like. Okay, and then let's go back up here, and you can change, you know, you can drag these. Well, you can do a number of them in a row. I'm just drag and dropping that again. And another. And then you can also drag and drop these to create captions on top of your moving video. So if you ever notice, sometimes I do silly captions. Like in the first video series, I keep saying tripod instead of tripod, right? Which is ridiculous. I don't know what the heck was going on. So say I wanted to add a caption, these are the same choices that you would use. So I can grab and drop one of these. So say I want to caption something. I drag and drop this and I place it right on top of wherever you want this to go. It can go anywhere. And then I just release my mouse and then it plunks it down and then I can write. These are the captions. Okay, and you press play, and that will test it for you to make sure it's working, and it does. All right, so those are the titles, and you can have such a fun time playing with all of those. So again, you can drag and drop it alone by its solo, and that will be black. You can also drag and drop it over top any part of your moving video already, and you can do either way. A face, you know, nice dramatic, and you know, pretty. Wow. So what's cool too is that what's funny is when you learn how to do some of this, you'll be watching other people's videos and be like, oh, I know where they got that. I know where they got that. It's just fun. You can kind of like rework their thing. So I use this under. Oh, all right. So next tab we have backgrounds. We have my media, audio, titles, backgrounds. So you might recognize this when I do my mermaid videos. I love to use this underwater. So what you can do is you can drag and drop the titles over these other backgrounds. So it's basically like a still photograph and it gives you a background for like making a cool title. Now I'm getting all laggy. So let's see, I'll show you what it looks like. Title. And, ooh, a face. You see that? And there it goes. So this is your timeline, and you can drag and drop all sorts of things in here. And you can also drag and drop, like, still photographs. So say if you have, you can upload video files, but you can also upload still photographs. And so if I go to my media, and you can see here, there's this little camera icon that tells me that this is a still shot. So you can drag and drop that anywhere also. And you can say like, oh, excuse me. And if you can like weasel it in the middle, you just weasel it down where you want it to go. And if you use your manners, that helps. No, I'm just kidding. What's cool about iMovie too is that you can drag and drop also stills on top of your moving timelines, which you can't do in Movie Maker, which used to drive me crazy. And it was one of the reasons that I finally ended up buying a Mac, because even though iMovie is a free basic software, it does a lot more than Movie Maker does. And there's some advantages to Movie Maker too. But I'll show you what this looks like if I press play. Oh, and I'll talk about that moving still picture in a moment. And then wait, whoa, that is very uncomfortably close. So you can see this. Oh, she is looking so pretty. I told you we were going to get her done. Did you doubt me? You were doubting me. I know it. Okay, so as you see, what happens was when my cursor was floating across the still picture, that gets priority, and that is what is going to show up. And then once that's over, then it goes back to the video. And it stumbles along. And this leads me to this little bar over here on the right-hand side. This, if you slide this, it will change the perspective, I guess is the right word, of your video. So say you had a really, really long video. You have those little bits and pieces that helps you see the whole thing. And sometimes you need to get really up close and personal and like edit. And you can see here my audio. This is my audio, is the blue bin at the bottom. So say like there's some dead space that I wanted to cut out. I can just go ahead and do that. And let me show you right now how to split that. So say I needed to like cut out this section right in here. There was like, I was not talking and I wanted there to be talking. So all you do to split this is if I right click, it brings me up this menu and I can go to split clip. And it literally chops your clip in half. And I can see I'm starting to talk here again. So then you can add. So I want to cut out this second of empty space, dead air. So I would split it again, right click, split clip. And then this is highlighted. You can see it's highlighted by the yellow bar. And then if I just press delete, I'm trying to think, or yeah, you can do it from here too. You can just take it right out. And then now it's seamless. I know it. So then you can add. Oh, I took out the big whopping 1 second of silence. But that's how you split and delete any extraneous clips. So the reason why this goes, if I can rewind back to episode 3, when I talk about kind of filming efficiently. So what's beautiful about if you film to begin with efficiently, so you're not recording yourself with your heat gun and your hair dryer, and you take the time to stop recording. And I'll show you, I think I'm showing up on the screen. But in my camera, it's this little red button right here. And if I just take the time to stop, blow it dry, record again, just one little button, I don't have to go in and splice and delete all these things. They're just never recorded. So when you upload and import all your video files, like you've just saved yourself so much time. So that's why I took the time to explain that to you. Yeah, because it's just a huge time saver. All right, so, and I wanted to show you one more thing about these still photographs. Okay, if you notice when my cursor travels across them, we'll start it again. You see how that's zooming in on its own? Like I'm not doing anything, it was doing that automatically. So I'm gonna highlight that still button for a second, and I'm gonna go back up to this cropping tool, and if I double click on it, it brings me up like a sub menu. And this is the same menu where the rotation lives that we did, the first thing that we did. And it gives you a few choices. So you see this says start and end, and there's 2 squares here. This is the Ken Burns setting, as you can read. So if you move the first one up, let's say to start, and the second one, let's say I wanted to end at her chin, and then I press play, it'll give you a preview of what that looks like. No, it doesn't. I need to go back and move my cursor so that when it rolls across, it will do it correctly. Let's try that again. Zoom. All right, so see how it zoomed from where that first box was? Again. Oops, I'm not clicking on my picture again. So it did what I told it to do. So you can move those boxes. You could also have up here 2 more what's it called, options. So you can have crop to fill, and that's like it will just freeze right there, but you can also move your rectangle, and then you also have fit, and that will just freeze it just like that. So if I again back up my cursor, we can get a taste of what that looks like. And then it's just still when the cursor moves across it. So you have these little like sub editing categories that you can kind of get into. All right, so that's all I'm going to talk about in this video, and then I'm going to do another one, and we're going to talk about how to do time-lapse videos. So I want to just do this piecemeal. It's a lot of information, and I don't want to overwhelm you. So just to review what we just went over, we have titles, drag and drop titles, drag and drop still photographs. And before I move on too, I just want to show you what's so cool about what I love about iMovie too, is that it's so lazy bones in terms of the dragging and droppings. Like you don't even have to go to import media, blah, 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 blah. If you want to snag like a still photo or a movie from anywhere, I can do it right from my downloading bar. So when I download anything, these are all the downloads from the day that I've done today. So you can see downloading.png, this big number file, all these things are different files. All I have to do, this is a bit magical, is just I can literally drag it and pop it in without doing anything. Now it doesn't get saved up here unless I put it up there, and I can drag and drop it up there. But it's just so efficient. You can just plunk things all over the place. And again, that's its automatic setting. And there you go. So we talked about importing our files. We talked about our little folders over on the left. We have our preloaded audio sound effects. Oh, and I don't think I showed you actually how to do that. So all you have to do for that is you drag it out and you drop it right where it needs to go. So I say I want to start it there. And that's all you do. So the audio goes under the movie files or in the middle. And if you want any layered files on top that are going to supersede the video temporarily, you put those on top. And you can have additional layers on and on and on. So you can put this title, say, over that. So I'll just play this back. You can hear the music starting. Okay, so obviously there's a lot going on. All right, so the next video we are going, oh, so sorry, let me do my recap. So we have our audio, we have our titles, and our captions live here. The backgrounds that are preloaded can come here, and also you can add any of your own photographs as well. Oh, okay, I'm gonna save transitions for the next one. So in the next video, we're gonna do it's just the one's getting too long. All right, so we're gonna do transitions. We're gonna do the music. I'm writing transitions down first so I don't lose track of where we are. We are gonna do transitions, we're gonna do music, and we're gonna do time lapse. Okay, so don't forget in this one, that's our little rotatey button. That's very important up here on the right. And then we have, yes, this button is crucial. And you can highlight, anytime you highlight these, you can highlight more than one thing. If I hit the shift bar, I can highlight and click on each one. It'll highlight everything, and I can rotate those all together. So the next video, I'm also going to talk about audio, but also switching up the volume. So I'll show you that as well. So to save out a video file, I'm going to go to my upper right hand corner and see this share button. I'm going to hit that share and I'm going to hit file. And then that's where you can save it out and do whatever you want. So it's kind of like a save as button. Okay. I do not directly upload to anywhere. I always save it out as a file first, and then you can upload it to Facebook or YouTube or wherever you want to go. All right, so I'm going to see you in the next video, and we're going to talk about how to adjust the speed. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about the transitions and how to mess more with that volume. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will do my best, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.